Hello, hello. Let's get all this shiz sorted. Blah, 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 blah. Mate, the greatest troll I could ever do, having a picture of Danny Merchantman in the background from the concept, eh? Thought it was just better than my text just saying, remember to give me money. You know, I thought it was better. Right. One quick bio, and then we start. We'll have a chat. Oh, I'm old. I don't want to be old. I want to be young, carefree, beautiful, like a beautiful newborn egg or potato egg. Hey, how's everyone doing? Well, you can see the hole in my chest. That's a bit closer, so you can't see the fact that hello. Is anyone that's in shadow? I could put my light on, but I can't be asked. How's everyone doing? Hope you're doing well today. Othmian. Orthmian. Thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. It's going well. Thank you very much. For all of the love. Oh, and... I sent you some very nice messages on Discord. Thank you very much, Huntress. Me and Huntress are just talking on Discord just before I started streaming. Thank you very much, Skylark. And just so people know, Huntress has given my channel thousands and thousands of dollars through donations. I think, though, one wasn't more of a donation. One was, you get this money if you dress up as a Japanese schoolgirl with your large, tall Italian mate and walk around a gaming conference dressed as schoolgirls and play PUBG, also dressed as schoolgirls in PUBG while dressed as schoolgirls IRL. It was a weird request, but who am I to shirk the responsibility of taking someone else's money? Thank you very much, Huntress. She's also my chief mod and very much loved. And I hope that you'll be working with Zin as much as you can do, Huntress, because I know, obviously, Huntress doesn't get paid. She doesn't get anything from me at all, ever. Just occasionally goes, oh, I've done this for you. I was like, oh, cool, that's good. My Discord, I've got Discord bots now. What are they doing? Oh, they lots of stuff. Okay, cool. Thanks, Huntress. You're the best. But thank you very much for all the subs. Very much appreciated. I hope everyone is doing well at the moment. So we've had a 3.8.1 BPT patch, which had MedBeds and fixes a few other things of some of the more annoying variety that the 3.8 branch had. But basically, the MedBed gameplay is going to cause some people stress when they think about it. But in the short term, it's really good. Okay, so basically what it allows you to do is, currently in the build, in the PTE build, the 890 jumps to any ship that can do it. You can go to its medical bay, you can lie down in its bed, and then you can use that bed to set it as your ICU, your intensive care unit. And that means that that is your temporary spawn location. I think it's temporary. I'm pretty sure it's temporary. And when you die, you port back to there instead of going back to a landing zone. Cool, yeah? Obviously, if the ship's destroyed or despawned or unavailable somehow, then bam, you can't use it. You spawn back at your other spawn location. Thank you very much, Giuseppe Scarvegaleri, for the donation. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. GS. Bam. There you go. Perfect. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Why do people have to have names? Number designations. That's what we need. Or just 2 letters. 2 simple letters that I can read. English. British letters. But yeah. So, MedBeds, cool short-term feature, because obviously terribly exploitable if you just have people with 2 8-night jumps next to each other, or someone just, 2 people in the same bed or whatever, farming bounty off each other, blah, 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 blah. Just keep on shooting you repeatedly. You commit crimes in my ship, we're all spawning at the bed, just shoot, just wake up and shoot, just fire, everyone's making money, sort of thing. So obviously short-term, that's not great. And the potential for Zerg rushing somehow. So Zerg rushing when people are boarding you is a bit ridiculous, because you'd have to get to their medibay and then take them. I suppose you could just wait outside the medibay unless they've got lockers and gear in the medibay in the future. When they just come out punching just repeatedly, and there'll just be loads of bodies just punching as they jump out of this bed until you take the ship, destroy the ship. So maybe you can just clear it as. There needs to be some more systems in place for the long term for the game to make this a balanced thing. But in the short term, being able to do ops like Rexilla was doing, and have people be able to respawn at the op, doing the Daymar rally, and having people be able to respawn at the Daymar rally, just have a load of 890 jumps. Fucking great. It makes stuff so much easier to do, so much cool sandboxy stuff in Star Citizen in the short term. Not a long-term balanced feature until they tweak it and give it some better gameplay and make sure that there's risk and reward and death. You don't want to keep on just zerging yourself, all that sort of jazz. So, some cool stuff there, but obviously not super balanced at the moment. I was just surprised it worked properly. Like, genuinely, it was like, oh wow, I can kill myself in the bed, pretty much. And it spawns me here still, which is cool. Oh, I know, that was one of the reasons I started a bit earlier today, because I started about half an hour earlier, because I had a bit of energy, and I was like, fucking, because I'm on quite a restrictive diet at the moment, and that makes me more up and down erratically, with sort of like being a bit bipolar, a bit anxious, because like my blood sugar could be really fucking low when I'm just eating a little bit of quinoa, soybeans, and just little bits of chicken. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, what? Hype train? What is this hype train shit? What is going on here? Such strong. Okay. Oh. Yeah. What? I don't know what's going on. It said, do you want to send a griffin to the channel? And I go, yes. Send griffin. I don't know. Oh. I don't know what's going on there. Dobbs, thank you very much for the super chat. Will we see permadeath in the verse? Yes. In the future, you will see permadeath in the verse. Death of a Spaceman is the mechanic you're sort of talking about. At least that's what they said they're going to do. Permadeath is like permadeath in Star Citizen, though. So basically, you have an amount of lives. Basically, you, instead of dying, you get critically injured and then recovered is the idea. Now, there's obviously, there might be some mechanics behind that. There might be some insurance behind that. If you've got really expensive medical insurance, maybe it doesn't affect your life count or whatever. But the idea is once you've taken enough damage and you've been killed a load of times, or a few times, or you die repeatedly quickly or something, your character will permadie. And all of its gear and loot and everything will go on to your next of kin, which is the next character you make, is the idea. Now, there might be some loss there. There might be a death tax. There might be reputation loss. The idea of Star Citizen is they wanted risk and reward and for mortality to really matter. So there is going to be an element of that. But they also want to encourage players to, have gameplay that's, you get shot, but you're not just insta-dead or anything. You're down on the ground bleeding out, or you're stunned on the ground. People can get to you, people can res you, you can potentially med pen yourself and then get up on your feet and run off or whatever. So there's some knockdowns and other sort of gameplay like that there. You can eject, obviously, especially when ships have disguised components. Your ships aren't just going to explode. You have disabled components, so you can choose to stay on your ship, or you can eject, and you just don't insta-die when your ship's health reaches 0. You see what I mean? So there's a lot more gameplay mechanics going on there. Yeah, so I'm hoping that Zin enjoys Star Citizen to some extent, because it doesn't matter if she doesn't. She gets to play games a large amount of the time, and it'll be better than her other job, in my opinion. I'm not going to shit all over her current job. I mean, it's not going to be as good as working with me. Look at me. I'm the embodiment of pro gamer, right? Not in a like skill way, but in the way that I make money from playing computer games. That's pro gamer, right? That's how I fucking define it anyway. My boomer reflexes, unfortunately, though, makes Sin play Apex Legends with me. She's really good at like Apex Legends, and I'm all right at it. I'm really good at Apex Legends until I get panicked, and getting panicked happens more regularly than you'd expect with me. We were playing the other day, and there was just like a Gibraltar. How do I describe this without being offensive? He is a large character like Waka from Final Fantasy, and he was just around this little ledge, and we poked around, and he fired a shotgun as I poked around, and I had no idea he was there. It was just in the middle of a field. There was no reason for him to be there. There was no way that shouldn't have known I was there. I think he was as scared as me as I was of him. But I went, woo! And I was just shaking for like half an hour. It was a proper jump scare. I can't play horror games. Like, I hate horror games. I like watching other people play them because I don't have to deal with the horror in the same way. But I have, and if I'm playing like a multiplayer game that has, and if I'm like the last person left on my team, I hate that. The anxiety gets to me. Shite, thank you very much. Happy Friday. Will we see true butt to ship docking use take what? Will we see true butt to ship docking use take effect this year? My guy really needs to take a poo, but thanks, bud. You're my best mate. What? What, you want to be able to take a poo in a ship? Is that what you want to do? You want to have a chippy poo poo? We're gonna have player status update stuff, so that will track food and hygiene, and drinkies. So you will need to use the bathroom. I think is the idea behind that. So I'm not sure if the actual bathroom use for hygiene is actually in the next update to the player status system, or if it's the one after that. Let's have a look. When does it say hygiene's in there? Because hygiene implies to me that that's the poo-poo train. 3.9 gameplay. Player status version 1 will track health, stamina, and oxygen that we already have in the game, and then it's going to be expanded to include thirst, hunger, and temperature. So potentially not in 3.9. 3.9 is when the player status system is being updated with that additional stuff. Specifically, it says here, first, hunger and temperature. That might be you need to use the bathroom because you're eating and drinking, but it might just be that you need to eat and drink. I would expect when it starts tracking hygiene, that's when you need to poo. But there's some questions that I had. A couple of questions on my little thread that I made. What's the status of Vulkan implementation? I believe they're working on Vulkan implementation at the moment, and you'll see it probably in the game properly this year. I think they need it for Squadron 42 as well, which is why I believe it's a renderer focus. It's an engine focus. When do you think CIG might do another free fly so I can get some friends in to try it? Typically, free flies are done at major events, but also you'll see them sometimes with some major patches. The earliest you'd probably see it is one for 3.9 at the end of March. But typically they have them like November, December time, October, November, December time, based on when CitizenCon is. Because we don't know if CIG are going to split the CitizenCon and the anniversary expo this year or not. Like, they haven't said anything yet. So we might see CitizenCon on like the 10th of October again, like they typically do. And then the anniversary sale on the sort of end of November. Or they might merge them again like they did last year. So sort of bear that in mind. You will see some free flies throughout the year, though. I just don't know how many and when. Major patches, end of the year. That's when they typically happen. Neoset 404, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Philipal, thank you very much. I love you, dude. I love you too. Giving your hard-earned channel points away to say that you love me. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Thank you. Lots and lots of random subs. Right, let's have a look at some of these questions. What's up, BG? Clouds, Sky, people's perspectives. Mini-bay trip mines. I mean, I think, so typically, once we have physical inventories, when you spawn at a med bay, you're not going to have any gear, unless there's a gear in the med bay for you to quickly grab. So sort of bear that in mind as well, that people aren't going to be super dangerous. They're going to be in potentially sort of like scrubs or just like a little loincloth running around just with their fists. I don't think they're going to be that dangerous. Will there be a massive death tax to make permadeath matter more? We don't know to what extent, but there's supposed to be risk and reward. There's supposed to be meaningful death in the game. So maybe not a massive one, but some. Have you personally seen the remake of the Cutlass Red? No, beyond this clip from Captain Burks, which I will show you if you wish. Go check out his stream as well. So this is of the Cutlass Red that's still undergoing some polish before it's in the 3.8.1 PTU build, as far as I'm aware. This is a dev spawning it in, so I mean it's in the build, but it's not accessible to players at the moment. So this is a dev just flying it around, showing it off to Captain Burks here. Oh, thank you very much. Pew, pew, pew. Still Stark. Thank you very much. I mean, I do it all for the ego. Thank you. I really like the way that this looks, okay? They've put loads and loads of lights on it to give it like the ambulance, police sort of rescue vibe. I love it. And I suspect the Cutlass Blue is going to have the same sort of lighting. How cool is that though, eh? How cool is that? If you want to see that original clip as well, I will post it in the chat. But, bam. But yes, I really like that that Cutlass Red look. What else have we got here? I'll probably jump on the PTU later today and see if I can get some duty shots, because the PTU was running really well, the 3.8.1B one, the new one, and I'll see if I can get a proper look of the Cutlass Red and see if I can snack aboard, although if I sneak aboard, it might anger people, I'm not sure. Drake and Bake, will there be a baker's delivery ship, and we could call it Cutlass Bread? Cutlass Bread? What? I suspect that people will be delivering food in-game. I suspect it will be quite an important commodity in some areas. Any idea when Combined Arms is coming? What do you mean by Combined Arms? Are you talking about Theatres of War, the gameplay mode? Or are you talking about more using capital ships in ground combat? What do you want? What else have we got? How far do you think they'll take the feature of spawning vehicles into ships? I'm fine with it actually having to get some vehicles in there ourselves. So I believe the idea is once they've been spawned once, like once you've attached them to a ship and spawned the ship, that's where that vehicle is. And you can only move it if you moved it when other ships / vehicles were in the same place. You're not going to be able to just transfer them across willy-nilly. And there'll probably be fees associated with having them moved across when they're in your hangar compared to if you do it yourself. So, good luck. No worries. I mean, it's Captain Burke's doing that, but he's done some really good stuff. Like, he was the first person to, I believe, when the build went live, to do the Arlington Gang chain missions, and he was hoping that it was the Idris mission at the end of that, which had been incorrectly reported as being in the game by someone, which is a shame, because it wasn't in the game at that time. It was used for CIG for testing, but there may be an Idris mission in the future attached to that, but we'll have to wait and see. Will you get a Cutlass Red? Maybe. Maybe. So a lot of the ships I'm just going to get in game. A lot of these ships. Like, I've spent about $3,000 on ships for myself, and I've got a reasonable amount of ships from the referral reward scheme stuff. I've been sent probably a couple more $1,000 of ships from other backers and fans, so thank you very much for that, but genuinely. So I'm not sure if I want to buy all the ships. I'm hoping that one day as well, CIG do a press account and they just go, you can have access to these ships for review during the alpha. Obviously not for the full game for any reason, not when they've got full persistence or anything. But I'd like to be able to just have access to them, because I can get access from asking people, and thank you very much for anyone that does lend me a ship to review or whatever when I don't have one. Like, that's always appreciated. But I don't want to buy all the ships, because I want to earn a load of them in game. And, you know what I mean? I'm going to be playing Star Citizen a lot once we have full persistence. Like, a lot. Like, probably 6 to 8 hours a day at least. That's the sort of plan. Maybe 5 days a week of that. I'm a reasonably hardcore gamer when I actually play stuff. It might be a lot more, but I'm getting older. What's the largest giveaway you've ever done? Source's Kraken Privateer is his new record. I don't know what I've given away. It would have been another org. I'm giving it away on my channel. We did an 890 jump once. I think the 890 jump's probably the largest ship I've given away. But it wasn't even given away by me. It was given away by another org through my channel. Which is some of the org spotlight stuff. People were just like, have this stuff. I thought that got a bit too rampant. People giving me those ships for giveaways. And I feel like really weird about that, because I don't want there to be gated. I don't know. It feels like some sort of weird elitism when I just go, yeah, you can, I'll cover your org if you give me an 890 jump to give away. That's big exposure. I don't know. It just feels a bit disingenuous from me. Right. What else have we got here? Oh my god, lots of stuff. You getting buffering all the time? Should be right. Have a look. Should be good. Not buffering. Does it say it's buffering? Don't know, bud. So there's a few things I wanted to go over today. I'll just go over some of these questions quick. Carrack on Valentine's Day? Quite possibly, actually. So Carrack's supposed to be coming out in February. And they typically do some form of anniversary, some sort of Valentine's Day sale on the 14th of February. Also, typically mid-February is when we get the first concept / straight to flyable ship of the year. What do I suggest? Taxes. Taxes in games and taxes in real life are important. Like, I am reasonably capitalist, but taxes are a good way of giving back to society, just and getting like healthcare. So, I mean, in the UK, we've got the NHS, which is incredibly important. I never want anyone to be in a state where they are something's gone wrong in their lives. They haven't got enough money and they can't afford medical care. So, taxes are a great way of ensuring that you can have a quality of life that's at least reasonable, even if everything goes wrong for you. That's the idea behind it, in my opinion. But let's not get too much into that on the stream, because people will be like, "What?" Because I'm not anywhere on a political spectrum. I have lots of different views on lots of different policy, which is everywhere. But I'm not particularly authoritarian. I'm more anarchist than authoritarian by quite by quite a way, but what else we got there? I'm not a fan of the Reliance series of ships. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Do you not think the background scenario when in space needs updating? The background stars and system represents look a bit tired. I do actually expect that the some of that background stuff will get a load of updates with continuing sort of like engine optimization, or render optimization, whatever the hell that is. The look of space v10. Do the Vandal have a sense of humour? Maybe within their own society. How will they manage 3+ people dying at once? They can't all spawn in the same bed at the same time. Yep. And in that case, when the bed is unavailable, the idea is that at the moment, I believe you just respawn in your normal place, your non-ICU. However, probably there'll be time limitations to spawning in those beds and things like that as well, and maybe even waiting lists and waiting times. Can the 890 jump be spawned at space stations? So at the moment, the 890 jump can only be spawned at ArcCorp and Lorville. So only at planet side. We don't know how the medbay was going to handle spawn queues. It's just that makes sense for them to have spawn queues, and if that's the way they want to do it in the short to medium term. My friends set their spawn point to my medbay in my ship, and I log out or crash whatever, and they log in after they've already spawned. Will tactical backspacing put them back into my ship? What? So if your ship is unavailable because it's disappeared or despawned, they won't be able to spawn on your ship. But if your ship's still there, even if you disconnected, then they will. My name is 2 English letters, RM. Thank you very much, RM. What would be the best feature coming other than the medbay? For 3.8.1, just general bug fixes. So, at the moment, 3.8 branch suffers from desync and a moderate amount of instability and the inability to rent more than one ship properly, and that there was a load of game-breaking bugs. So 3.8.1, the main thing with that is bug fixes. However, there have been some data mines from Star Citizen Leaks. They are, from what I see, Star Citizen Leaks, who maintain a pretty solid Discord, they're the best place to get the data mined information the quickest. Other people sometimes get it and stuff, but typically the speed and accuracy of Star Citizen Leaks is pretty good. I cannot condone them for the Evocati leaks that they do, because I'm an Evocati member, and it annoys me that I can't use those leaks, really. But for like 3.8.1, non-Evocati release, there were some interesting leaks for like Halium or Gallium, a new commodity. There's a load of new sort of like drugs and contrabands that they found. Glow, Freeze, Doppel, Mala. I think there's a load of that thrust. Lots of different chemical type stuff. Zip. Which will be interesting to see if they actually are things that are brought into the game as in 3.8.1. There was missions from Miles Eckhart, assassination missions, and a bit of a chain for that. Yeah, there's a few things that 3.8.1 might bring beyond just the Cutlass Red, some new armor, and bug fixes. But it's not confirmed any of the other stuff, really. But I do like the fact that they get those ICU, that bed spawning, medibed spawning. Cutlass Red, assuming we can use the medibay in that to respawn as well. That'll make that ship really, really useful. It's possible as well that they will be testing Theatres of War soon, Evocati. So I think that's what they're probably ramping up to as well for a lot of this stuff. Any word on having multiple styles of mobileglass available now that we have Crytek in game? They are supposed to be having different styles of mobileglass and customization to your mobileglass. but I would not expect that in the near future, even with the inclusion of Microtech and in 3.9 New Babbage, the internals of New Babbage. What else have we got here? Could a collab be nice with other games, like putting Warframe and Star Citizen together, both their own systems and story, with the option to visit each other's? All can benefit from each other's tech. Maybe in the future. Star Citizen need to release a product first and to be seen on the big stage, in my opinion. Will there be PE gameplay in the future? PE. Physical education? What's PE? Hey, Bored. When were you able to log out of our ship in the middle of nowhere and then spawn back in the same place? You sort of can do that now with bed logging. You can log out in a bed, in a ship, and then spawn, and often be where you left yourself. With full persistence, that'll be a lot more stable. So full persistence is supposed to be coming in 2020. Platform persistence is supposed to be coming as part of 3.8's branch at some point. Hopefully with 3.8.1. Platform persistence means that CIG can much more readily and easily choose to reset databases, but they can just save them between minor and major patches if they want. 3.8.0 will see a reset for when 3.8.1 launches, because there was some pretty big exploits there, and because they haven't got platform persistence in yet. Will alien capital ships have toilets? Or something similar to a toilet. That sort of stuff is thought about. So however the Vandal relieve themselves. I mean, they might not relieve themselves normally, because they're like fish-like. Maybe they sort of like excrete ammonia from their skin, instead of have a poo-poo. Or a pee-pee. I don't know. Do medical beds work if you crash or log out, or only if you die? Only if you die, I believe. What date in February is the character release? We don't have a date yet. I would expect it by the end of February. Games are... Thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. And Tin Pot Martian, thank you very much. I read your name properly. Thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Any idea when the 2949 digital goodie pack will be released? So we're expecting 3.8.1 to have the armor from that at least, and the rest I don't have a date on. What are your thoughts on Vulkan in the future now that it's getting traction in performance-intensive games like Star Citizen and recently DCS World? I think that Vulkan is a very sensible, hardware-neutral approach to the engine. And it makes sense for Star Citizen to use that at the moment. They have talked about using and integrating other things like ray tracing and stuff as well in the future, and other techniques and potentially other APIs. So we'll have to see what is sensible. But I think they've seen like probably a roadmap of what Lumberyard want to do with their engine as well, and they've probably discussed and colluded on some stuff. So I suspect Vulkan is part of that. The voice in the Constellation of Quilla be changed. I would expect customization of the voices and computers and some of that stuff in the future. So hyped as my Cuddy Red is nearly here. Space Ambulance to the rescue. What ships of yours that are not there are you most hyped about? Orion, Crown of Mansionman, Javelin, Carrack. To some degree, the Ares at the moment. I quite like the Ares. There's quite a few. Thank you very much, Deja Vu fan. Deja Vu fan. Why can't I ever say your name? You've broken my brain. There's too many questions! I want to go into the topic. Wait, let's power through these. I was surprised they did medical so soon. Do you think there'll be more surprises in the roadmaps? Yes, but I don't want there to be surprises. I want them to tell us what they're in the roadmap, rather than hide stuff and go. It's like, give me the roadmap. Tell me the things. Don't have straight to flyable ships either. Tell me about them at the earliest possible stage. Give information, please. That's why I follow that gam. Well, it's one of the reasons. That's how I create content. I suppose it's more of a me thing. But give me that information. Are you expecting a roadmap update today? Yes. And yes, there will be changes on that roadmap. I'm not sure to what extent it's a roadmap update. It could just be a minor one, and move a few things around and like move some stuff out of 3.9 and go, oh, with staggered development, we're still working on some of these bits and we're moving some of this back. I'm hoping it's a reasonably large update that gives us a better look at realistic updates for 3.9 and 4.0. And if it pushes some features and shows some features in 4.1, great. We're also supposed to see a monthly report for Squadron 42 and Star Citizen's Persistent Universe today. And at 7 PM UTC, a Star Citizen Live, talking about the ship vehicle experience. Ship and vehicle experience. How likely is the Banning Merchantman to have an ICU med bay? Probably very likely. It's a large ship. Bigger the ship, more likely it will have at least some form of med bay. Don't be afraid of capitalism, board. I run my own business. I'm not afraid of capitalism. If only you knew how silly a statement that was. Don't be afraid of capitalism, board. How do you guys not get bored? Every major patch I play for about a week and then just get bored. I think it depends what sort of gameplay you're looking for. I mean, if you haven't got full progression, like a permanent progression, a lot of people just be like, what is the point in playing? But some people play it for social experience, some people play it with orgs, some people play it to get their skills in check for when the game does have full progression. It's different things for different people. I mean, a lot of people are playing it, but not like an MMO at the moment. There's lots of other games that you play just for fun, or just for a chill, or just for a social experience, like VR chat. What's the point of playing VR chat? Server tick improvements. So 3.8.1 is certainly better than 3.8. However, in the major cities, I was having low frame rates overall. I haven't actually done an in-depth look at the tick rates. I typically wait until it's to live build, just to actually analyze its performance a bit better. I think they were aiming at 30 ticks as standard though, and I don't think they've changed that. I mean, obviously high tick is better, but it's not a competitive shooter in the same way. They could probably have higher tick rates in the Theatres of War servers. Theatres of War release. They wanted it, I believe, available to everyone by the end of Q1 2020. I think that was the plan. So don't 100% quote me on that, but that's sort of like the rough plan, I believe. I'm talking to Sean Tracy about it to some extent at CitizenCon. I would expect it in the Eva Carty's hands potentially by the end of this month. Mid-February, maybe, sort of thing. What do you think you will enjoy doing the most in the game when all the game mechanics are released? Playing with an org, toiling with them to do greater feats of sort of like ops and things, as large scale ops and things. So building up the resources and money and ships to do that from day to day, and then doing something as a group, or seeing that stuff get put to use. That's the sort of stuff I'm most interested in. How you can influence long-term gameplay by putting the toil and the work in. It's very, very economic and industrial gameplay, typically from me, but I want to be part of that boarding. I want to be part of space combat. I want to be able to do a little bit of everything in the game. Although from day to day, typically, I will probably be trading, building bases, exploiting resources on land, stuff like that. What do you think of the combat melee weapons as a reward this month, but only one for each level of subscription, and selling one extra? They're just skins. I don't really mind too much, don't really care. I want to see, with the subscriber stuff, I actually want to see more video content from them over the flare. But it is a in-game item that you can use. So you want to express yourself? Yeah. What I'm planning to do... so some months I don't subscribe to RSI. And typically... And I sort of like go through phases where I don't subscribe for like 3 months and then subscribe, then buy all the flare. What about crew beds? There'll be a place that you can log out and then log back on. At the moment, you can't use them as a respawn point for medical ICU gameplay for when you die. Will the hand tool battery... Will the hand tool, mining tool battery, will go down as the game progresses? Will the mining tool have ammo / a battery? I don't know. I'd expect it to take a battery in the future. And then it either need to be recharged or a mag change. That would make sense. If you put a ship like the Avenger Warlock Saber Raven inside another larger ship, could you have stealth EMP? They've talked about EMPs going off in other ships, and I think they said you couldn't do that, or the EMP would be too weak to penetrate from inside to the external. So I don't think you could. You could drop the ship out and then EMP. Rented ships can / do disappear sometimes within 2 hours from the ESOP terminals. This is not duplicate. This is not the duplicate rental bug thing. No news, awareness, or fixes for this. I would expect that as being dealt with. I'll have a look. I know there's problems with the ship rental stuff still. How do you prevent someone who snuck onto your ship from just infinitely spawning on your ship who wasn't invited? So I'm hoping that you have to be in a party with the ship owner, or have permission to be able to do that. I haven't actually tested to see if just anyone can just walk up to the bed and just use it. So obviously there are some balance things and a couple of things that they will need to fix with that. Will next week's Inside Star Citizen be accompanied with a new 2020 roadmap? If we don't get it this week, that's what I'd expect, yes. Because we haven't got Inside Star Citizen this week. Got it next week, but we're supposed to be having a roadmap update this week. Will the star map ever get a rework? It will get more work on it, yes. They want to integrate it into the game and external to the game, and have lots of stuff and crossover with that and planning things. With Star Citizen saying they want to release straight-to-flyable ships, do you think the Ares will be the last concept ship put out for sale? No, I think there'll be others. I think there'll be less and less concept ships. Thank you very much, Captain Frank Hawks. Thank you very much for the love. Does CIG have enough time to get ship code finalised before Squadron 42 beta, or is it possible that we will see code split between the PU and the Squadron 42? What exactly do you mean by that? There's obviously going to be stuff that the Persistent Universe needs that Squadron 42 doesn't. And I suppose vice versa. I think that the dev branch is obviously both of them. It's both the Persistent Universe and Squadron 42 in that dev branch at the moment. And the core of the game is the same. It's just there will be a split at some point. Can you ATM pay people for escort? Not at the moment. You have to do it via service beacons at the moment. In the future, there is going to be wallet-to-wallet transactions. In 3.9, we are getting an accountancy app, which could have some of that functionality. With the release of the medical gameplay, do you believe Cloud Imperium will give us the Apollo Triage as a surprise ship? So there is no real medical gameplay as far as a sort of like in-depth medical gameplay in 3.8.1. It's just the use of MedBeds to use as respawn and to use for healing. And it's sort of like in a thought, walk up to it, treat wounds, healed. It's not proper medical gameplay. I would expect at first we'll see potentially some missions associated with that, them expand out so that you can jab other people with medipens, then other medical gear and tools and items, dragging of players, knockdowns, stuns, bleed outs, status flex, stuff like that. So they'll keep on adding more and more and more to that slowly. Do you think the Crytek case will have a big influence on the release of Star Citizen and Squadron 42? It will probably have some effect on it, even if it's just a minor one. But to what extent? I'm not sure. I don't think it will be major. I don't think it's major anyway. It's possible that they've delayed the release date of Squadron 42 for some reason because of the case, but not as far as I'm aware. Have they said anything about floating missiles? Big issue at the moment, being an Eclipse pilot. I know there's problems with missiles. Will we see a roadmap update to date? That's what they've said, yes. Will armor and flight suits eventually have damage states like ships? Yes, they're supposed to be able to have damage shown on them. They're supposed to have effectively components or attachment points and things which can take damage individually, and some of them might have power plants or power or whatever, and the physical damage system is supposed to be part of that as well. Guys, a sellout, wake up. Around the verse. With a name like that, who couldn't trust you? Literally, why don't... I might be a shill, but I only shill for myself. I'm not paid by CIG anyway. I refuse any gifts from them. So you're more than welcome to say I've got a vested interest in Star Citizen because I run a channel that makes Star Citizen content. However, I am not a paid shill by any stretch of that imagination or terms. So you can disagree with me and you can say I've got bias, and that's fine. However, I'm critical of CIG when I want to be, and I will make the content that I want to make. And you can say, which is probably a little bit of how you sound. But I'll do what I want at the end of the day. But thank you very much for your opinion. Take mine as however you want. Is anything known about the Hercules release? No. So the Hercules was, the C2 was on for 4.0 originally, but they moved it off the roadmap. They did talk about it briefly as well before they moved it off the roadmap, saying that they were looking at some of the Hercules stuff, and they might group a load of the Hercules ships together in the C2, M2, and A2. Might do it at the same time. So I'm expecting there's a bit of a focus on the Hercules ships in 2020. So the Crusader ships and the Hercules because of that. And so I'd expect to see probably some of the Hercules range and maybe the Mercury Star run in 2020. If we're really lucky, maybe the Ares, if it's needed for something. Do you know if there's been any talk about playable races other than human? They said they will try and get other playable races in the future, but that will probably be after release. I am about 10 minutes behind in chat, probably even longer than that, if I'm not immediately reacting to your questions. So that guy that I was talking to a minute ago, he was really, really grumpy and started swearing a lot, so he's been banned. Sorry, dude. Why be so uncivil? You can talk and you can be reasonable and you can have differing opinions than other people. You don't need to be a little weasel boy. What is wrong with you? I don't understand. Why can't you just be civil and say, I don't agree with what you say? And you're allowed to have that opinion. Ah, what is wrong with people? Look how high-pitched you made my voice. Where do you source your information from? CIG forums? From loads of different places. I do poke some devs occasionally. From Spectrum, from Reddit, from CIG videos, from their website, from Star Citizen leaks, from people, things that people send me. Anywhere I can. Other people's videos. Studio tours, CitizenCon, talking to people physically. If things get ugly, after. Oh, thank you very much. Very much appreciated. OG Lockpin, thank you very much. Easy names to say. Oh, Phobos Demos. Dimos? Phobos? Dimos. Phobos Dimos? Demos? Demios? Thank you very much for becoming a YouTube member. Very much appreciated, you fucking legend. OG Lockpin, thank you very much for the bits. The party on my face, was it doing a weird thing? Was it doing a thing? I didn't see. Haneth, thank you very much for the sub. And TP Car 22, if that's how you say your name, thanks very much. Very much appreciated. People are hoes, but just ignore them. No, I think people should be heard. If they have differing opinions and if they want to talk about something, that's fine. And I'm fine with people saying, you're a shill, or I don't agree with you, or I think this. That's fine. And I go, no, that's not the case. When they get angry and really, really grumpy, I don't really mind that either. When they start to be uncivil and people start swearing and calling other people out like quite aggressively, that's when you're like, well, you obviously either some form of troll or you don't know how to talk to people. That's when I just go about upset. You're there to tell people why they're wrong rather than have any form of conversation. So, oh, Dennis, yeah. So I've got that. Is this the poor guy that they complained about on Reddit? I don't agree with many things that you say, BoredGamer, but don't change. We need different voices. We do need different voices. I'll bring that Reddit post up in a minute. I've got it on Sedit. Because a lot of people jumped to my defense when someone said something, and we'll go over that in a second. Constellation series, all have a ton of missiles. Any idea when those might be re-implemented? They need to address the missiles. I think they're redoing or tweaking the IFCS system that the missiles have, because they have a derpy version of the IFCS system for their flight, like a dumbed down version. And obviously they need to get countermeasures working properly with that. They need to get scanning and chip signatures and physicalized components all part of that as well, because components individually are going to create IR and EM sort of things, and then that's going to affect your ship's heat, all that sort of jazz. Will there be any hover tanks? I would expect so in the future. Obviously, we've got the Tonk, which is a tracked one, but Tumbrel Land Systems, they are supposed to be making hover vehicles, I believe, as well in the future. Probably a simple question, but is the ship team responsible for vehicles too? I believe so. So at the moment, I think there's 15 to 20 people as a ship team for the Persistent Universe that work on concepts, getting ships into game, getting them all finalized. I mean, there's lots of other teams that work on bits of them. And then there's also a ship team that works on Squadron 42 ships and the sort of structures and internals and level design as well. And those guys could do ship design or the internals for levels, whatever. Once Squadron 42 is finished, episode 1, or those particular features are finished, you'll see more people be able to finish off a load of the Persistent Universe ships as well, I believe. I just want to say as well, when someone levies a claim of I get paid by CIG or RSI and has no proof of that, because you don't have any proof of that, because it doesn't fucking exist, that is purely an invention of your mind, I wish that I had accepted gifts and stuff from them and I could do that and people would be okay with that. Fucking great. That would be awesome if I could go to Gamescom for free, get free computers, get a load of fucking money or whatever, get free gifts to give away. That would be awesome. But I can't do that, because that would damage my long-term growth of my channel, because people would be able to say that I'm a shill, and I'd have to go, well, I do accept stuff. I do not accept stuff from CIG. You lying about it and saying stuff that you know to be untrue is really infuriating. However, I know that's the point of that. So around the verse, go screw yourself. Not the show, I quite like the show. Did you train your voice to do videos? Would you naturally have a good velvety radio voice? I mean, it goes through some processing from clear up some of the audio, and then goes through some processing to make it sound a little bit better. I just have this voice. I can elocute reasonably well. Have you ever stolen a ship in game? Yes, of course I have. I'm not massively into the criminal gameplay. Well, I am at the moment because I'll do a bit of everything. And I probably will do a bit of everything when the game's released, but I'll have another account that will be outlaw account. But 99% of the time I will be spending on doing lawful activities. Can I buy a Titan Renegade today if I already have a game package? Not the Renegade. I don't think the Renegade's available. You can get a Titan, though. Are they adding salvage back to the roadmap? They should be at some point. I would expect to see it in 2020. We don't ask for much, do we? Have you ever sharted? Yeah. I mean, I've been very drunk before. In my teens. Are they... we talked about that. Salvage was removed from the roadmap until they worked out where it would land better. But I would expect it, as I said, in 2020 still. Do you think they'll ever open the hospitals in major landing zones so they can respawn there instead of beds when we die? Yes, that is the plan, I believe. You say you'd respawn at hospitals rather than HABs, based on where you were, where you died, potential medical insurance. There might be choices where to respawn if there's like Endeavour hospitals floating about. But you'd also use hospital facilities to treat some types of injury and some types of like status effects and debuffs and stuff like that. Do you agree pay to win doesn't exist as long as everything can be grinded for in the game? I'll discuss that in a second. If you pay or grind for it, both are paid with time. People having less time to grind usually the ones buying. So pay to win. The old school definition of pay to win is anything you can buy that gives you an advantage that you cannot obtain without buying. That's pay to win. But now pay to win's sort of been watered down to mean anything that can give you any form of advantage, even if that's a time advantage. And in that sense, yes, of course, buying UEC or buying ships does give you a time advantage and is therefore pay to win. Can pay to win games be good then? Yes, of course they can. As long as the pay to win for Star Citizen does not get out of control or does not break the game, it's fine. That needs to be watched by us and make sure it doesn't get rampant. We're not in a position where the game would probably survive without the way they sell concept ships. They need that money to continue to develop the game, at least until Squadron 42's out, although they arguably have enough money now to get Squadron 42 out. But the game wouldn't exist without the monetization model they have. But that's not the game's going to be good because of that. I do genuinely like what I see on the roadmap. The pay to win and the selling of ships, yes, it's a concern. Why wouldn't it be a concern? But I don't think it's game breaking one. I do think that people will be able to just join in organisations. It's going to be to do with organisation and manpower a lot of the time over who's bought what. Because you're going to need people to crew all your ships. You're going to need to work together well as a group. You're going to need to have the right ship for the right job. It's not just one-on-one fights. And yes, you can rent ships in game now. You can buy ships in game now. Although renting's preferable for the most part, because you lose everything every so often with the wipes. So when concept artist scissor, they draw a baba, and that baba comes to life if you pay enough money. I don't know. I can't remember. When will we get physical money? What? No, I don't think there's planned to be physical money in the game. Oh, there are already pictures from inside the Cutlass Red. There's already there's very, very bad pictures of it on the Star Citizen Leaks thing of a breakdown of it. But there's no. I have not seen inside the Cutlass Red yet. There's a grey map, grey box of it that CIG released a while ago. Any chance Star Citizen gets released on next-gen consoles? There is a chance. In fact, one of their job listings about a year ago was requesting someone that had console experience in building stuff, so they might be looking at it. I don't think anything's off the table. Will ships play the same in Squadron 42 as they do in the Persistent Universe? or will the code split? So this is a really interesting question, because at some point, when they balance Star Citizen, and they might change numbers on weapons and stuff, but Squadron 42 is already balanced separately for those weapons in a certain way, so there could be a code split and then a meta split because of that. I think that's possible, but I also think it's possible that they just rebalance Squadron 42, because it probably wouldn't be that much effort. So at the moment, I believe they're entirely unified, but it's quite possible that they will split in the future. Has there been any word on the Endeavour? Nope. Big ship, probably one of the last ships they build. BoredGamer, you can't reason from people that completely disconnected from reality and have gloomed onto you based on their own psychological dysfunction. I mean, some people are just there to cause trouble, admittedly, but some people do have genuine points to put across, or you shouldn't just ignore everyone's sort of like speeches, tirades, whatever points, even if they are a bit aggressive. Sometimes they have good points to make as well, those sort of like get dismissed. So I do try and listen to lots of different things. Do you think RSI will create a Crytek faction in game? This could be like a company of Saul Goodman lawyers that just tried to sue everything. Wow. I don't understand it. I think they should have tried to renegotiate with CIG rather than sue them. I just don't know what Crytek were thinking. Has there been any word on... No, we talked about that. Do you expect to see passenger transport in 2020? I do expect to see NPCs as part of missions, like as wingmen, and potentially NPCs transporting players around. To what extent? I don't know. Like, are we going to see Genesis Starliners moving people from planet to planet? Unlikely. But have you tried holding onto a box in a mission and going onto a ship from a ladder? No, but I believe that the dropping of boxes on ladders has been fixed in 3.8.1b. Do you have a video about CC melting store credits work? Yes, I do. If you just search for it on the Google, on the YouTubes, you should see mine probably at the top. I like the term little weasel boy. Bored, I know I'm late. Have you tried holding on to a... we talked about that. I love your videos, love the game. Well, thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Turned up gamer. I made a comment about to you about 6 months ago. I was very drunk. If you remember, sorry. No, I don't remember. Don't worry. It's all forgiven. I don't hold any form of grudge or annoyance or anything about people. Sort of immediately fleeting dissipates. Hovertonks, indeed. Hashtag check yourself. Ooh. Yeah, Pyro in 2020 is the plan, and jump points, or jump point. I'm hoping we see more than one more additional system in 2020. It's possible, but just Pyro would be great, and that's one of the reasons we might be seeing a load of the narcotics that were data mined. According to CitizenCon, Pyro system is ready. No, that is not the case. Pyro needs more work. That was just the Pyro system entry point that done, and potentially the star and some of the area around that. They haven't finished off the whole Pyro system, but by any means. They haven't finished off the whole Stanton system. You prefer my high pitch voice? Alright. How did you? You can accept stuff from CIG, live your life. I'll always shill for you. Aww. You'll have at least one person on your channel. Thanks, mate. I was thinking about if I do take ships from CIG, because they offer them and I've been refusing them for major releases. They're giving content creators ships to help promote them because, you know, it's a good thing for them to do. I might do some sort of charity event with them. So it goes, yeah, cool, I accept it, but bam, it's a charity thing. The problem is that anything I do will increase my exposure. So when should we expect the new BoredGamer 2 pays? Oh, go fuck yourself. Oh, I said I was going to go on your show, didn't I, Info Runners again? No, that's changed. That's changed now. Never take the piss out of the hairless egg. How dare you? How dare you, sir? Ship sales, they plan to monetize Star Citizen on the long run, or they plan to stop ship sales at some point. So they said they're planning to stop ship sales. The ways they plan to monetize the game are by selling game packages with ships attached. So a limited amount of ships will be attached as starter packages for that. I think potentially probably up to the Constellation sort of value. You will be able to buy the in-game currency UEC, which is obviously a big one, like the same way you can buy Plex and Eve, I think, the way that CIT see it. There's obviously going to be merch. There's going to be voluntary subscriptions. I would expect them to still do concept sales. That'd be my honest expectation there. But there's like tickets to events and a few other things. And then they'll look at other ways of monetizing the game if necessary. Would it be okay if CIG stops selling concept ships once Squadron 42 releases? Yeah, I suppose. But it makes no sense for them to stop. They might as well keep on making more and more and more. They probably would have enough money to compete the game without any more concept sales once Squadron 42 starts selling. As long as they've got a reasonable roadmap to completion, as long as it's within like 5 years of Squadron 42 releasing. There might be... No, I mean, they can make quite a lot of money with Squadron 42. 5 years might be a bit over-optimistic. But there's no reason for them to stop selling concept ships. Enhanced sensors for piloting in climate weather, night atmospheric conditions. So, they talked about this recently and they said they will continue to sort of like look at flying in different types of weather, and if you're sort of like blinded by that, I can't remember what they said, I can't think of any of the words, but if you can't see well in weather and you can't see well at night and stuff, they're looking at that and potentially might have some gameplay in the future, but they might not. They have also previously talked about night vision and other modes like that they did want to put in game in some form. Question board, do you know if some Banner Matchman lifetime insurance packages come with the Banner Defender? No, I don't believe they do come with the Banner Defender. There's supposed to be some interplay with the Banner Defender and the Banner Merchantman, and I expect it to be able to dock with it in some capacity, even if it's just for rearm, refuel, and repair, rather than dock inside it or something. Or just dock with it so it can do some form of transfer and use its parent ship, in that case the Merchantman's sort of like quantum drive or something like that. That'd be my expectation of the interplay. You probably just get a loaner with the Merchantman. In fact, I believe you do. Banu. Diff. And Merchantman, you get a Caterpillar and a Defender as a loaner. Wasn't there supposed to be an Inside Star Citizen yesterday? No, it's the 23rd. So next Thursday it starts again. What are the larger ships do you expect to see in the game in addition to the Carrack? I think we could see some of the Crusader ships, like the Hercules. I'd love to see the Polaris and stuff like that. I'm not sure what ships in what order they're going to do them, you see, this year. There's a lot of stuff that... Really, I need to see the roadmap, and then really I need to see have an office tour to then get a feel for understanding what gameplay they're trying to push. And to be able to more accurately say stuff other than, you know... Right, bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to have a real quick bio. My diet... I've been drinking sort of like a lot of water. Plodding on. Oh! I'm back. I'm sort of back. Ugh. My skin feels like it's dying. Oh, I've got a hole in my chest. I've got my JR Fabrication Dragonfly. Right, I'm going to buy a box. I'm going to buy an arrow as well. I don't want to buy them all at once, though. Otherwise, I won't build them. I need to build that now. It's an Airfix, official Airfix kit from JR Fabrication, who are licensed to make models and props from CIG. How cool is that? And I have many years of experience playing 40k and Warhammer at tournament level. I'm okay at painting. I'm not great, although I'm probably reasonable now. I mean, I used to pro paint on eBay and stuff back in the day, but you know that level of pro painting is low end of the pro scene. You travelled between systems in Squadron 42. Don't know. We know it's at least set in the Odin system, but there might be other systems that you move between. Yeah, by the end of February is for the Carrack at the moment. Do you think Star Citizen is technical possible of how we dream it? Everyone's going to have a different version of how different mechanics work. I think some things people are going to love, some things people are going to hate in Star Citizen. Avoid the mechanics you hate for the most part, but it's going to be different for everyone. Having a large raid with Javelin, 80 people on it, and an Idris and other wingman ships versus large alien or player army. Yeah, I think that's going to be a thing. I think you're going to have large-scale battles in space. Much larger than that, I would hope. Do you think they will hold the release of bigger ships like the Javelin or Idris for Squadron 42? I think the Javelin and Idris, very likely. Has there been any rumblings of Hull series coming back on the roadmap? They need to get the cargated version 2.0 in, so different sized cargo containers, larger cargo containers, specifically so that there's not so many entities on servers. They need to have animated / morphing physics grids sorted so that the ships can compress and decompress without causing problems. And then they need to have ship to station docking. Once they have all that in, then they can have the Hull series. I think the Hull C is probably going to be the first one they do still. And they believe they've done the Hull C for Squadron 42's needs, which will probably be a already extended Hull C that doesn't need to contract in the verse somewhere for Squadron 42. Follow-up question, if there's so much time finishing one system, are we doomed to never see 100? Well, no, because they've got all the tools now. They said they literally have all the tools now to build up lots more systems much more rapidly. They don't... There's a lot of gameplay mechanics they need to get. There's a lot of biomes they need to build. And once they've got that and the architecture for doing different types of city and the procedural tech, then they can build up systems massively rapidly. However, a good portion of those systems won't need any form of stuff other than procedural content and a couple of artist tweaks and special missions there. Others will need alien cities and terror to be done and new stuff for the Banu and the Tavaran and all that sort of stuff and the Xi'an. So there's a mixed bag there. But you'll see maybe a few handfuls of sort of like systems potentially for Star Citizen's release, and then they build out more and more and more. How does one climb a ladder holding a box with two hands? Features with features. You can do that. Like that. Just showing you how. Not going to show you again. Are you okay with paying monthly subscription, say $10 to keep updates and new systems gameplay coming? Yes, but I'd hope that wouldn't be until like 10 years down the line when CIG go, right, it's been released for a while, it's been good. Now, rather than selling ships or anything else, we want to have a subscription, and it's like Alpha and Omega subscription or voluntary subscription or whatever, like with Eve, maybe. When do you see CIG adding the new Mercury ship? I would expect it by the end of 2020. Assuming that they are going to be focusing on the Crusader ships, I'd expect that's one of the main ones. Does the release of MedBeds and Cutlass Red give you hope for the Apollo releasing soon? Not necessarily. I haven't heard anything about the Apollo. I'd expect it to be on the roadmap. Let's see it on the roadmap. How well does the controller work for Star Citizen? I've had surgery and can't use a mouse anymore. Some people just use a controller, so they make it work. My brother has one usable arm and hand, and he is able to do most stuff for most games on either a mouse or a joystick. Hey, Bored, IMC Fight Club tonight, you coming? I will try and come. Can you message me on Discord about it again? Yeah, message you on Discord if you can again and remind me. So what I'll do is, in a little bit, I'll go for dinner, and then I've got to do a few things. What do I think of failure to report FTR? I think he's entitled to his opinions. I loved the fact he had that massive rant at me when I appeared at CitizenCon. My mate G went, you've made it your name for yourself on YouTube and as a streamer when someone has unadulterated rage at you for no reason just because you're successful. I was like, yes. I think sometimes obviously he goes a bit. Yeah, that was uncalled for and could be construed as creator harassment. However, it's sort of irrelevant from that. He's allowed to have his opinion. He's allowed to have think what he thinks. And sometimes he has good points about certain aspects of the game, or at least he has in the past. In the same way that DS had some good points about how do you hold Kickstarters accountable for the money and how they spend it and stuff like that. There's some good points that are lost in the sea of these people being a bit, aggressive or uncivil, which is a shame. I wish him no ill will. I just wish, he wasn't so angry at me. But I think what he wants. Do you think Star Citizen is technically... okay, we talked about that already. Do you think they will hold... before we talked about that, that's the same question because I'm quite far behind, but it's okay, we'll get catching up now. Off topic, is there an easy way to make cinematic videos in Star Citizen? I know there are an engineering manual for modders and that they want to have... okay. Andy, there are obviously camera controls. You can watch a couple of videos on how people do camera controls. And then it's just recording in third person with F4. And you'll start to develop more and more techniques. Watch other people's videos. Record them like that. That's the best thing I can say to you. It's all just the use of camera angles from multiple people's different points of view, all recording and stuff. Based on what style you want. Are there any specs released on size 7 weapons? Not really, as far as I'm aware. We don't have the numbers for them. They are large ship weapons mounted with a ship sort of stuck onto the side of it. There's a possibility that Squadron 42 could be released at the end of 2020. Well, that's very, very optimistic. I'm thinking more like, at the moment, April 2021. But we don't have a hard line from Star Citizen on it at the moment, from CIG at the moment. The current roadmap shows a feature-complete beta planned for Q3 of this year. That's not a public beta, that's an internal beta. Do you think we'll see a PvP hub like Jumptown again, or does it pull players away from broader testing? I do think we'll see some PvP and PvE hubs appear in the next few patches. However, I think that once we have loads more players in the game, you'll see them form dynamically at certain areas with certain missions and at certain points in the game. They want to have hot points like Jumptown forming in the full release game and then dying down based on the values of those narcotics and over policing and over bounty hunting, and then those things move around. you think they'll bring on new systems after it's live that they will not tell anyone and leave them to be discovered by people that try to find jump points? Yes, I think that's exactly what they'd want to do. Do you think there's going to be an issue with the ratio of players that own multi-crew ships versus players willing to crew them, or someone else's ship? Yeah, but then you join orgs and people want to crew them for other reasons. It might be a lot more cost efficient to multi-crew in a ship and do a mission than it would be to all run your own ships and stuff. If there is an economy that supports the game well with enough risk and reward and enough sort of things that if you don't do them well, then you don't make enough money. There's enough sort of like pressure with that economy that it does drain you, and there's a lot of ways you can lose money. Then they get the cycle right. I think you can have a really, really great gameplay with that. We're sort of starting to see more and more volumetric cloud tech in the game now. I mean, even in the Squadron 40, this game demo we're watching, like there was nebula type volumetric clouds and stuff. You'll see probably some more as soon as we've got Crusader in the game. I suspect to see lots of more areas of space using them. My third-person camera is super slow. Is there a way to speed it up? No? Hold F? But there's been some problems with some of the mission givers, yes. Any news on the Carrack? No, beyond that we're expecting it by the end of February 2020 at the moment. When do you think the economic model will be implemented? I think it will be implemented slowly in step. And I think at the moment on the roadmap, the first part of that step is in 3.9. So that's dynamic missions, dynamic economy stuff, bits of that. But it's going to be a while before it's fully in. Right. I also wanted to. Well, we'll have a quick look at this. Should BoredGamer YouTuber be more critical of CIG? So this was a post. I will hide the name. This was a post on Reddit, which has been since deleted, but it had quite a lot of comments and stuff. Hello all, quick question. With Star Citizen seeming to pick up more popularity on the YouTube scene, currently the biggest Star Citizen YouTuber is a British guy called BoredGamer. I think you'll find Morphologist will pass me in the midterm before, hopefully, when I get Zin working for me and doing proper editing of my videos and getting better shots and stuff, hopefully I'll pass him again in the future. That's my expectation. Expecting the next 6 months Morphologist to pass me subscriber-wise. Individual videos he gets a load more, but overall views I get a load more. So, yeah. Much of a muchness. But my videos are, I'm not going to compare myself to Morphologist because I think he's a fucking legend. Averaging around 25 to 50k views from a quick look at his channel. It's no secret he seems heavily biased towards CIG and seems to never question clearly questionable decisions or delays. I think that's his opinion. But anyway, I mean, I clearly do criticize CIG when I fancy it and when I want to. But I do largely repeat what they say. I provide news in a relatively neutral, I suppose, but it's a positive way, a lot of the news and stuff I say, because I'm genuinely enthusiastic about the project. I feel like as a main YouTuber, he holds a lot of power and is almost a leader of the community for holding CIG to their word. I do not represent anyone's opinion other than my own or the news as I understand it. I'm not a voice piece. I'm not a representative of the community other than my own person. Maybe my own community, although I'd even say that's incorrect. But as CIG funded is by us, I feel like the entire... So this is when I started, I was like, this is what people call a concern troll. Literally pretend they've got a, I like this guy, or this guy's a little bit of a problem. Yikes, guys, we need to make sure that he's representing our views. As CIG is funded by all of us, I feel like the entire community hasn't had a backbone enough through this project. I get delays, and we all chose this route, so I'm okay with waiting. However, this community seems to be holding this gaming company to such a different standard to other gaming communities, and I've been part of it, and I see it's really strange. I feel like BoredGamer is the embodiment of this. He talks about delays in positive ways. Do I? I'm annoyed by delays. I want to have more things now, because I cover the game. Having more playable game now would be great. I don't go, it's good for the game that it was delayed. Fucking ever! I'm depressed when fucking I want salvage in the game. Give me salvage! Too many times salvage got pushed back. Skimming over the bad details before talking about future updates and putting positive spins on negative things without highlighting negatives or fuck-ups CIG has made along the way. He hasn't watched my stuff. He hasn't watched my stuff, but his channel's all about Star Citizen. That's my expectation of that. Of course, the lad's free to make his own content as he pleases. However, it's almost like CIG have him as a puppet. He's just saying I'm a shill. I feel like if he was to voice more frustration on how we've been given false hope at various stages for the project and call out questionable decision making at times, then we'd be a bit more of a clearer path, and CIG would feel more responsible for how they carry themselves as a company, and they're funded directly by us. Opinions on this, basically, ultimately, it's us that watch his videos, and I'm getting very tired of his continuous habit of crawling up CIG's backside. I'm totally off the track here, or is anyone feeling similar? That's Concern Troll. They're based to try and get a bit of witch hunting going on, to see if there's people that disliked my stuff and be like, yeah, BoredGamer's a prick. Well, I am, but not a paid shill. And let's be clear about that. So I just wanted to just say that. I read stuff like that reasonably regularly. Well, maybe not like that. But there's like, I mean, people are allowed and entitled to their opinions. It's not going to hurt my fees. But when you're demonstrably wrong or you do a concern post that's clearly bullshit, I will call you out on it. And that is clearly a concern troll. And that's why it was removed by the moderators after 109 or so comments. I did reply saying, you're entitled to your opinions, however, you're completely wrong and you're clearly concern trolling. Yeah, thank you very much. The other reason I want to bring this back is I don't typically post on Reddit because I don't feel it's my place to post in other communities, because if they want to find my stuff, they know where to find me, and that's fine. That said, I do post on the Facebook groups for UK Star Citizen and Facebook for Star Citizen, largely because mods asked me to. And it's really useful for my exposure and that sort of stuff. So I really, really love that. But hopefully I'm treated the same as anyone else on there, and I don't get any special treatment. But the amount of people that literally jumped to my sort of like, not white knighted for me, but basically said, well, I don't watch BoredGamer stuff, but he's entitled to make whatever the fuck he wants. Or I don't like his stuff, but he's entitled to make whatever he wants. Shut up. People that jumped to my defense in quite a nice way, free speechy way, I really liked. So thank you very much, anyone that was associate that in a civil way, that wasn't, too browbeaty. I really, really do appreciate that. Thank you. When do you think they will release the game? I think for a Star Citizen Persistent Universe full release, you're looking, not even a full release, but an on-the-shelf release, I think 3 years, maybe, if we're lucky. 3-4 years. Have in-game purchased ship components remained persistent through this patch and data wipe? They should be wiped, in my opinion. It looks like 3.8.1 is going to wipe. Do you think exploration mechanics will be launched when the character arrives? I think there might be some more exploration missions that get put in, sort of like or hints at it, but you're not going to see any additional exploration gameplay, in my opinion, at this stage. And again, same with lots of the other mechanics and components, they're going to add lots of little bits. They need scanning, they need new points of interest, they need a lot of stuff to have proper exploration in game. Will there ever be any discount for pledge packages? Yes, they sometimes do discounts for pledge packages. Typically, at the Expo/CitizenCon, sort of end of the year, you'll see starter packages get discounts. You also see them sometimes get discounts when they do certain sales. Have you already covered the stuff about MedBeds and Cutlass Red? If so, can you rehash those joining late? Yeah, so at the moment, in 3.8.1b, you can use the bed on the 8 to 90 jump the medical bay bed there, and line it, and then set it as an ICU, a intensive care unit, and that overrides your other spawn point during the session, so that if you die, you spawn back at that bed, and you can literally just jump out the bed and kill yourself, and then you'll spawn there immediately again. And it's like deletes your old body, is what it seems. Now, this is obviously great for people that want to run silly events, PvP and stuff like that. It's only for the 890 jump in this current build. However, it's expected that the Cutlass Red will get it, and the Carrack will get it, because they've got MedBeds. And obviously it needs some more balancing and some tweaks and stuff, and there's going to be loads of exploits and stuff that people will probably try and work out. But yeah, that's the basic of it. You can also walk up to the bed, and if you're injured, interact with it, and was it cure all wounds? Heal. You can peel your wounds from that bed. I am of the opinion that the Star Citizen community as a group is pretty fucking great. Like, I know a lot of people don't like to go on the Reddit or don't like to go on Spectrum, whatever. You get some small groups of very aggressive vocal minority people, or people that shit on everything. However, for the most part, people are pretty reasonable. People are pretty good and easy to talk to, and will be civil and will admit when they have differing opinions, and that it's okay that you can't change their minds, or maybe you can change their minds, or they both go, yeah, it's cool. And in the Star Citizen community, I found 99% love and friendship, and even if people don't agree with me, they'll go, yeah, I don't agree with you, or I don't like your stuff, but cool, or whatever. I love the community. I think it's one of the, if not the best part of Star Citizen, in my opinion. One of the reasons I've stayed with it and stuck with it so much. And one of the things I said at CitizenCon when I was interviewed was, the community are the best thing about this. Like, you can have a fan fest now. I love the game, and yeah, obviously wouldn't have.
That guy talk, you get new subs every time he opens his bios mouth.
Dude, I get money given to me. Oh shit! 1 second. Let's have a quick read of all this fucking money, me. Tickles TOO. Thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. CM CM Defalefant. Thank you very much for the sub as well. Mo Vanberg, thank you very much for the sub. Oh, you stars, thank you. Harapino, thank you very much for the sub. Chuck DePaula, you just followed, but you get love anyway. Digital Justice, thank you very much for the cheer. Mantis, I love your face. Cheer, bits for dog whistling concern. I hate the term dog whistle, fuck that. And dog whistle, shit. I called it out. I was telling off my dog. You, sir, just made CIG ass licker money. Congratulations, cheer. Very much appreciated. Oh my god. What a grumpy young man. Or woman, I don't know. Could be either. Bad Major, or Major Bad, thank you very much for the money. Oh my god. Chucking money at me. Love. Look at this. The sub train. People giving me money for just having a bit of a ragey rant. That is why I wanted to be a YouTuber. That is why I wanted to be a streamer. I wanted to be able to talk into a camera and have a whine about something and people pay me for it. How good is that? Jadis, I say, let that guy talk. You get new subs every time he opens his bio. That's what I already read. I would just read the same thing again and get paid for it. Because I'm a low effort YouTuber. Perfect. Urkel, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Oh, you star. Thank you very much, guys. And gals. It's only, I think it was 1.3% of my audience are women on, or lady girls on YouTube. Some demographics for you. Oh man, that's why you're giving out everyone's subs. Thank you very much, mate. Very much appreciated. Jay the Bosun, Mozd, General Tsao, Saw747, and Leah Hart. Congratulations, you've all been given some free subs from Mantis Ridger. Mantis, I love your face. Oh, you star. Legend. Your enthusiasm is refreshing amid all the groups inside gaming who don't know how the hell to do research on why a game is being so avidly supported. I think that Star Citizen is very unique in its community, in its monetization model, in its practices. Some of that stuff can be seen as anti-consumer, but they're sort of compared to giant AAA already established companies with that. They don't see them spending the money and supporting the community in the same way as that I do and other people do, I think. CIG certainly do stuff wrong, and they have in the past anyway. But it's this beautiful, unique thing, and I love it. And yes, A lot of people that cover Star Citizen, that come into a single video or to cover it in a news article, they do very, very cursory research, just a little tiny bit, or they look at some other articles which are typically negative, because all fucking articles are negative. I mean, that's not entirely true. That's a sweeping generalization, which is incorrect. But do you know what I mean? They'll look at a couple of articles that were like, Star Citizen's a scam, like from Forbes or whatever, and then use that as their main sort of source, which is a bit of a shame. Why are people so concerned about other people's videos or status? Do they actually have lives outside of the internet? Bored seems like a pretty honest and principled guy. I mean, I'm blunt. I'll talk to you on the camera. I mean, I make content on Star Citizen. I want to cover the news mainly and make it all in one place so that you don't have to sift through all the different things that CIG have ever said on a billion different sources. So it's all in one place and talk specifically about something in context. That's what I want to do with my channel. That's what I want to do with news. Yes, I'm enthusiastic. I hope I'm reasonably neutral. There's certainly some things I see that maybe I do go a little bit overboard with my theory crafting, or my sort of like, this is what I want from it. But hopefully I say when I do that. Oh my god, Maestro Raymond, thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Riviex, thank you very much for the sub. Both of you, thank you. Oh, you stars. I don't really go for like sub trains or anything. I don't know how this works. I make videos on YouTube, and YouTube pay me from views effectively for ads or whatever. And I get money from Patreon. I get obviously donation money. I get all this other stuff. Don't really sell much merch. Shadow and NordVPN referrals for people that actually sign up with my link if they want to use those services. That makes me a good amount of money and that sort of stuff. So I don't need the donations. I don't need the subs, but it is fucking appreciated. I mean, I need to, what am I talking about? I can't eat unless you all give now. Thank you very much, very much appreciated. I appreciate the people going the extra mile, even though they don't need to. And hopefully I'll provide better and better content aspirationally over the next year, and especially when I've got Zin working for me, when I've got my full-time editor working for me. She's not just going to be a full-time editor, she's going to be streaming with me, she's going to be a camera person, she's going to be helping manage my community, she'll be doing everything I do, but better, and then I can concentrate on, you know, being a voice, being the talent. Look at this talent, right? And I want much better production value in editing. Like I look at Morphologist's stuff and go, his stuff, it looks beautiful, and he's got really good angles, and he's really good at editing, and it's beautiful stuff. And I can talk about Star Citizen all day, and I can recall a load of different facts and what CIG have talked about, and I've got a huge amount of notes and stuff like that. But my editing sucks. Will the Cutlass Red get MedBeds with it? We're expecting it to have a medical bed. Well, I'm expecting it to have a medical bed that can be used. Almost certainly. I mean, that's probably why they put it in. Let me put in some more music. Oh, it's My Home by Pedro Camacho. What are we doing? Lots of people just talking. What ships are you most looking forward to and why? I mean, there's so many. All of the Carrick in the short term, because it's a cool ship that you can run with 6 people that is like a mini capital ship, and it's going to be super versatile and going. But more of the economic ships as well. So really looking forward to the Banning Merchantman because of shops, the Pioneer because of base building, the Orion because nom asteroids, any of the economic and industrial ships. I'd love it if Squadron 42 Episode 1 came out at Christmas this year. That would be amazing. I think it's more likely to be April 2021 now. But this, hopefully CIG will say at some point what's going on. Hey, BoredGamer, can I get a hug? J-Bird Max, I love you. You can have a hug when I see you. Question, have you ever tried or know anyone that's ever tried the software called Voice Attack? Use voice commands. Yes, with Star Citizen. Yeah. Used to use Voice Attack. Used to use the voice packs for it as well. They're good. They're really good. You want to look at the HCS voice packs for it as well, because they are supposed to be integrated for Star Citizen's use. Any news on AI crew or AI blades? No, nothing new. Do you think we can park the Pisces and Urza inside the Carrack in 3.8.1? The Urza, yes. No, well, when the Carrack is released, which isn't with this initial 3.8.1 build, you should be able to rely on both the Pisces in it and the Urza rover in it as well. But not, it's probably not going to be released 3.8.1. It's going to be released in February at some point. And this down slightly, maybe. Is that right, Volume Wise? Just in case. Zin when? Walking in stations when? I'd like her at the latest by June. I'm sort of aiming for roughly in my head. We just need to sort it out. It's not. It's semi-complicated, but not that complicated. What do you think about the Banner Merchantman nerf? So some people saying it was going to go below 1000 SCU, but that's the same. What do you think? I don't know. I think that it will probably have more than 1000 SCU, and I think it will, because you'll be including the SCU it has in its shops as well. But it's not supposed to be a hardcore super hauling ship. It's supposed to be a floating bazaar that sells stuff. It's a floating set of shops. I mean, it does some trade as well outside of that, some hauling outside of that. But I will say that I can see why some people are so skeptical of CIG. They have been burnt so many times before with crowdfunding and even AAA companies. But you need to put aside your hurt feelings and look at the facts. CIG is not perfect, but they have proven that they are attempting to do and succeeding everything they set out to do. So you can see, say what you want about CIG, it's not a scam of Star Citizen. They are trying to create a great game and product, and I think that hopefully they'll do that over monetization of the game when it's finished. So they are monetizing the game now heavily, but hopefully that won't be the core of the game for its release. And I think they're trying to do great things with it. I mean, it looks great. On paper, it's great. I love the community and the devs, and the amount of information they give us from week to week is pretty awesome. So will the MedBed work in the Carrack in February? I would expect so, but we haven't had a confirmation from CIG. It said MedBeds will work with this, basically, but the only MedBed in this current build of 3.8.1b is the 890 jump. So. How do I donate through YouTube to BoredGamer? There's a super chats button, like a little money button. If you want to give me money, you are more than welcome, sir. What is the best resource / video to show someone who's never heard about Star Citizen? In my honest opinion at the moment, a couple of morphologists are probably significantly better than mine for showing off Star Citizen and its sort of like raw form. If you go to Morphologist's channel, they'll be like, why do people love this game? Or a noob's guide to Star Citizen or something. It'll give you a quick sort of feel for it. He's just got so much better sort of like camera shots than I could ever get at the moment. Even Sam Reynolds said it. Morphologist has got a good one. Yes, he has. Have you heard anything about them adding proper cargo missions to the game soon? They want to have proper cargo missions. They want part of the idea behind the economic display terminals they had planned for 3.9 was to have sort of like open cargo missions and that sort of stuff. in game, like cargo bounties. Effectively, if you can get the cargo to these guys at the right within a certain amount of time, or before anyone else can, or like the value of these goods is significantly higher for a certain amount of them, stuff like that. So expect to see them at some point. Might see them in 3.9, probably a little bit later. I don't know anything about the next free fly beyond there might be some stuff they talk about in mid-February, and 3.9 is being released at the end of March. Those are 2 times where they might see free fly, but typically there's a possibility they have them with each major patch like 3.9 and at the end of the year with like CitizenCon / the Anniversary Expo. Oh, Sam Reynolds, thank you very much. I tell him how to donate, and he does. Shut up and take my money, you beautiful bastard. Thanks, community, for being so great and supportive. Well, thank you very much for giving me English pounds as well. The best currency in the world. Above all, thank you very much for your subbing. Very much appreciated. You star. Oh, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I do a video, how to donate to BoredGamer. Oh my fucking god. So the live show from CIG is in 40 minutes time on the twitch.tv/StarCitizen. I will be finishing in a little bit so that I can eat and then sort of like watch that in the background. What type of chair do I use? I use an expensive one. Herman Miller. Is it Arrow? Herman Miller Aeron. The latest version of the Aeron. I got it secondhand. New, they are about £1,000. Got this one for 600 quid. And the reason I spent a lot on a chair is because I sit down a lot in front of the computer. Probably 8+ hours a day. So I was like, don't skimp on the chair. Very comfortable. I need to get a headrest for it, actually. That'd be even more comfortable. Oh. That's why I need to lose weight. I use HCS voice packs too, BoredGamer. I use it for ED, because Elite Dangerous, as it comes with it also comes with compatibility for the Star Citizen. Yeah, it's cool. But the Star Citizen versions don't work with ED. What? What? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, they did. Do you expect 2.5 million Star Citizens to be able to vote for the next Emperator of the UEE? The current Emperator term ends at the end of 2050. I would, above all, I would love to participate. I want to be Emperator. Emperator board. Emperator board. Woo! Hey, Bod, keep up the awesome updates and summaries. Thank you very much. I will, Josh. What is your favourite gameplay when you just want to blow up some time online? What's your go-to mechanic or future mechanic? It's going to be economic and industrial gameplay, building bases, trading, mining. That's what's going to be in the future. At the moment, I just mess around and look at bugs and test things and try and get beauty shots. My main thing I try to do is look at pretty things in Star Citizen. Fly to planets, Hurston, and Microtech at the moment are my favourite places to have a look around. Do you think the Cutlass Red will go up in value? No, I think it will stay at its current value. That'd be my expectation. Do you think orgs will play a huge role in the future of the verse? Yeah. I mean, organisations are going to be incredibly important for the game. Like, I recommend everyone finds an organisation. Even if you want to do Lone Wolf gameplay, find an organisation to then share information as Lone Wolves between you. What's your preferred controller setup? My preferred controller setup is a mouse and keyboard for just ease of use. Because I transfer from doing camera stuff to doing first-person shooter stuff to lots of different things and flying ships. If I was just flying a ship around, I'd want to use my Verbal Constellation Delta, which is the best HOTAS and throttle, joystick and throttle HOTAS that I've used ever. And I've used the Warthog, and I've used Thrustmaster stuff. I've used lots and lots of different things. Cyberpunk's been delayed. It must be a scam. It's so disappointing that Cyberpunk's been delayed, but looking forward to playing it nonetheless. Final Fantasy 7 remake. I'm looking forward to. Been delayed slightly as well, isn't it? You're so modest, Bored. What do you mean? Look at what I'm working. I'm pretty overly confident with what I'm working with, mate. What do you want from me? Do you think we'll see large-scale hangars in some space stations to handle large ships like Cax and 890 jumps? Some space stations, yes. I think we'll see large-scale shipyards and things for large ships. But a lot of the stations will be ship-to-station docking sort of compatible instead. So docking to the side rather than in. Why don't you publish your AMA streams after their broadcast? Is that exclusive content? They are available in the playlist Star Citizen Livestream / AMAs, which is on my channel. I don't publish them live because I don't want to post them into other people's feeds. They don't want to watch the long form types of video, which is a large portion of my viewer base won't want to watch that video. So I just put it in there in its own playlist. I will make sure that playlist is more publicized, though. Crytek's not yet flight ready. It should be flight ready in February. The Cutlass Red, I would expect it to go into... I'm hoping that it goes into 8.1 PTU later today or on the weekend. Job Max, thank you very much for chucking money at me. Very much appreciated. And Job, Job, thank you very much for the ridiculous amount of money. Why are people chucking money at me? Thank you. Sam Reynolds, I love you. Job, I love you. Job Max, I love you. All Hail the Mighty Chair, I love you. Wait, no. Hannah, thank you very much. Sam Reynolds, don't now that you found the send money button, don't keep on pressing it. But thank you very much. Very much appreciated. I won't tell you what to do with your money, but, I mean, you don't need to. Thank you. Very much appreciated. What happens when money's thrown at me? I just become a molten blob of egg. Donated by the Deep Space Crew Org. We love you, BG. Thank you very much, Sam Reynolds. Very much appreciated. Poke me about Org Spotlights as well. I think I'm going to... There's a dude that does some pretty cool Star Citizen music stuff that I want to do a spotlight on. Miguel. And then there's also a load of 3 other orgs I had lined up that I wanted to do spotlights on. Probably some other apps and things that I wanted to do spotlights on as well. Hey, Bud Max. Hair character punching the air with fist and bump written on his knuckles. What? Why does it tell me this? Did you ever play Freelancer? Yes. I played a load of Freelancer mods as well. And lots of multiplayer silly Freelancer back in the day. Do you think they should bring back Letter from the Chairman? Yes, I do. What is the best perfect patch for BoredGamer in 2020? What? The last one. The 4.2. I'm looking forward to the most. Because it'll have the most in it. You know what I mean. You'll be up. Well, shut up. Standing desk question mark. So I found out that as long as you are reasonably mobile during the day and you get up from your seat regularly, it's sitting down and the standing desk is about the same. It's to do with about the movement and not being sedentary. Although I will try out a standing desk and then the convertibles desks and see if they are cool. If I really like them, then I'll go a standing desk or a convertible. You mean this button? Do push it? Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Just send me money. Thanks, JB. Thanks, Job. Appreciate it. What the fuck? Why? I love you guys. Thank you. Very much appreciate it. Let's see the chair. Okay, yeah. You can see the chair, Tommy. Shut. I'm going to send you a picture. I'll bring a picture up. Let's not just show the chair. Let's be the chair. Oh man, with that error on. That looks like it. That's the new version of it as well. That's my chair. Non-bar support. It's a sort of like rubber mesh. It's It's nice, very well built, like leathery, and makes me feel like I've done well for myself. I sit there and go, yes, yes, YouTube money is going well. That's what I feel like when I use it. Did you want to see? Okay, no worries. I won't be able to watch the CIG stream today. Will you be releasing a recap today? If it has tangible, useful information, I will be getting a recap of it between now and probably end of Saturday. So today there's a lot of stuff released by CIG. Roadmap update, Squadron 42 newsletter, and Star Citizen monthly report, and that Star Citizen Live, and Star Citizen newsletter. So there's a lot of stuff coming out at once. Maybe and hopefully they might move one of those off to next week. But PTU is open to all, isn't it? Do dejection sheets have a role on how you land in atmosphere? They said they wanted to have ways of surviving getting injured, ejecting in atmosphere. So yeah, either parachutes on them, jet packs on them, something to not get you killed when you land. But we don't know exactly what that's going to be. When do you think they will adjust the concierge package's price and content for the Dominus and Plutonium? I don't know. They keep on... They will tweak and change those packages as and when they see fit. I have tried Game Glass. I'm a Game Glass shill as well. Really useful little product. I bet you have more ships than me by now. Major Bad. Maybe? I've got probably in total, I've got about $6,000 worth of ships. In total. Maybe a bit more. I spent 3,000 on ships. Any news when they might open up more hangars at Grimhex? I'm asking since I noticed the new elevators. There might just be more things to do at Grimhex, not necessarily new hangars open up, but there might be new hangars opening up as well. That's a possibility. Expect Grimhex to potentially expand because of the criminal gameplay that they want to bring. But I don't know when. Will the new roadmap include 4.1 to 5.0? Expect if they do any roadmap updates, major ones, in the next couple of weeks, but they'd only go up to 4.2, so the end of this year. We're supposed to be a super sticker. I see. I don't fucking know what all these things are. Do you think I'm sort of a professional YouTuber? I love Free Space 2. Free Space 2 is one of my favourite games of all time. It's in my top 3 favourite games of all time. I love it. I think it's amazing. It's one of the reasons I think I like Star Citizen. How many characters does it take to crash a server? We don't know yet. I suspect we could do it with one well-placed one, though. Should large ships like the Crytek have external security cameras with a dual purpose to help landing and reversing? Plus, you need to see from where possible hostiles are approaching. So you're going to be able to have scanners. You're going to have radar, passive radar. You're going to be able to have people looking out of windows and looking around and using the turrets. They want to have internal security systems to some degree and permission systems. And they did say they wanted to have a low-res landing thing again so that you could see the ground under your ship when you land. And I think that's still the plan. I got the Explorer pack when it was around $450 and upgraded the Terrapin in it to a better merchantman. Good choice, because the Terrapin is vastly overpriced for what it was. Upgrading it to a better ship like the... better ship in my opinion, like the Banner Merchantman, that's a great upgrade. So at the moment, I'm really looking forward to 3.9 as a patch. I don't know what the other patches have got in them yet, so I don't know. Typically, the last patch of the year, I want this to be the most playable. 3.8 had some major problems, which made it a lot more disappointing than I would have wanted. I was hoping that staggered development meant bam, significantly more playable. Now, 3.9, hopefully that's what they've got in mind for it. I'll have to wait and see. But it's literally the next patch is always the one I'm looking forward to. Do you think it would be possible to turn my owned land into a ship junkyard? Meaning towing various destroyed ships back to my land. If there could be an outpost that you could build to allow you to salvage ships like that, and maybe sell parts, maybe have a little black market there, maybe something like that. I like the idea of salvage yards. Obviously, they're in game to some degree. Robert Johnston, one of my most prolific donators and people that tells me to go fuck myself. I love you. You're a star. Thank you very much for the donation. Yes, it's kind of dumb you can't see super sticker graphics. Yeah, they don't really appear around me. I mean, occasionally like a parrot will appear on my head or some sort of stupid mask. But thank you very much. Very much appreciated. With medical gameplay, what kind of penalty will there be for death in the future? Why not just die to teleport back to a station? So there's going to be death of a spaceman. There's going to be permadeath in the game, but you have a certain amount of lives. There's going to be money associated with respawning. There's going to be buffs and debuffs that you have to get treated. They want lots of risk and reward. Short term, there's none of that. There's just respawning in MedBeds. In addition, as a change to respawning just at landing zones. Carrick's supposed to be released in February. Do you feel there's any way that CIG will make people actually use regular clothes? Yes, so, I mean, they could have armor degrading, and that sort of stuff the longer you wear it. They could have it make you move slower even at the lightest level. There's stuff like that they could do. Otherwise, everyone's going to be at least wearing flight suits constantly, aren't they? You need to incentivize people not to even wear flight suits where possible. But it's interesting. See what happens. But thank you very much for people watching. I'll quickly address any other questions while I'm sort of like I'm closing off. I'm gonna go and have some din-dins now, because then I want to watch the Star Citizen Live, which is in 25 minutes on the Star Citizen YouTube channel. But thank you very much for listening to me rant. I'm sorry that there was someone that a lot of people were quite grumpy with in the chat. He was obviously trying to cause trouble and being a bit of a dick, as it were. But thank you very much for putting up with me while I dealt with him. Do you expect the Connie to get a kitchen? All it has now is a table. I would expect it to have the ability to, in the Connie, have a kitchenette that allows you to make food and drink. I think that might be one of the reasons they're taking so long with the Taurus. Is because they're doing some updates to the Connie at the same time. Maybe, not confirmed, but potentially. At the very least, you'll be able to put flare equipment there, like in the 300 series, to be able to eat and drink. But yeah, and yes, obviously the Connie's the missiles addressed and missile problems dealt with. Do you think bounty hunting will be the way of dealing with griefers and pad rammers? No, I think that there will be that as well. But I think that prisons, risk and rewards, and deeper law mechanics and fines and that sort of stuff, they will help with that. You just have it so GTA 5 in UE space when you're near a port, and have huge fines that person that's ship's been destroyed, that other person basically has to pay for that ship, or whatever. You have huge fines for pad ramming and things. But yes, thank you very much for the love and appreciation. Very much. Thank you. If anyone's got any things they want me to cover or look at, topics, or whatever, you can drop me a message on my Discord, or contact at BoredGamer.co.uk. That'll get straight through to me. What else is there? I'm looking forward to playing some more stable gameplay. So as soon as we have a stable, I'm hoping 3.8.1 will be stable enough to play and won't have the terrible desync that 3.8 has. I want to get some gameplay streams done, playing multiplayer with other people from the chat, people from the Discord, and all that sort of stuff, and other content creators. Me and Twerk, Salty Mike, want to do a load of gameplay once the stuff's a bit more stable as well. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. Very much appreciated. Love your faces. We're going to go and host someone else. And I'll have lots and lots of content coming up over the weekend to keep you busy. And hopefully we'll have that 3.8.1 patch. I suspect it will be live by end of January. And that's my expectation. Potentially even live by the end of next week, if all goes well. Star Citizen, who is online? Well, Saurus has got a Kraken giveaway, so we'll go to Saurus. Why wouldn't we? Bam. Gotta give him some love if he wants to give you a bloody ship, eh? So hopefully one of you wins his Carrack that he's giving away, and we will raid him as well. Flash raid. Thank you very much for the love, guys. Thank you very much for joining me today. Feel free to leave me any questions you want for the next one, or feedback, or whatever. Just email me, as I said. I'm really tired and sleepy now. My blood sugar's like dipped, so apologies for that. But yeah, I love doing these, love chatting, but I do want to get into the game and actually play it and get used to playing the game while chatting, rather than just doing these chat things. I want to do a bit mixture of the two. You've sent me a purple mustache, Robert Johnston. Thank you for the purple mustache. I appreciate it. Do you ever wear a hat? I used to, when I was going bald, because I used to have a beautiful mohawk, but then I went, fuck it. Eh? Right. Love you guys. You take care. Talk to you soon. You just say twerk. I know, right? I'm more than the salty mic. Boom.